Welcome everybody to the course on Dynamics and Control. My name is Pedro Albertos from the Polytechnical University of Valencia in Spain, and the subject of our session today will be about the control benefits. In particular, we are going to deal with performance improvements. You remember the modules. We are in the fifth module, control benefits. Last session we were dealing with necessary control, when the control is necessary, and today we are going to deal with the improvement of performance. Then we have used the control, as we saw before, dealing with unstable plants and also to access to processes which are not locally accessible, to remote processes. And today we are going to use the control to make easy the operator's work, to get better performance, and also to cope with unexpected disturbances. And in the next session we will have a look at the future. So let's start with the security. We know that the control can provide security and safe operations. Remember the cartoon we have at the beginning, and there is a boy trying to go through the door. Then the control will detect that there is a person coming through and will keep the doors open. So we can use control in a very general way to deal with alarms and to provide security and safe operation of many processes. But it also provides the facility to make simple actions in harsh environments. For instance, if you consider here a steel making factory, the temperature is very high, the humidity also, and there are a lot of pollution, then any action taken here can be done remotely, and then control will enhance the security of the operators. Moreover, if you consider a nuclear reactor or any operation which is dangerous, any simple action can be done remotely by control and providing the facilities to change, to adapt, to modify the working conditions without the need of the operators to enter in this environment which is not very safe. Well, control can do many things, but of course cannot avoid disasters like the one we saw in Fukushima. In that case, this was not a problem of control, it was a problem of the breakdown of the power plant in that case, and then control is prepared to cope with some disturbances which are in principle already foreseen or taken in consideration when you design the control, but not for any kind of disturbances. We can use the control also for commodity, for quality of life. Remember in domotics we had this house of the future, and we came from a central control to control the lights, the security, the alarms, the windows, the opening and closing of the windows, the heating, or even the irrigation. And this can be done locally in the central control or remotely by the phone. And then, even you don't know, there are many loops, many control loops, a lot of information coming in and going through to improve the commodity of your house. It can be also used for quality enhancement. If you consider, for instance, the paper machine that we have seen in one example, and you want to control the thickness and the shape, that means that you must use the control to get at the end a web of page which is of paper which is a good quality with regular thickness and regular shape. The same if we are dealing with hot mill for steel strips making, and this also involves that you are saving the wasting of material and of course saving energy consumption. So not only you are getting better quality, but also you are avoiding to waste some of the material and by the way also the energy used to produce this waste material. But we can use also control to save some costs. For instance, in the same system, we can improve the efficiency about the humidity of the paper. Assume that you need to produce a paper with a given level of humidity. Then, if the control is not very good, like you can see here, the humidity is changing with the time, then if the maximum humidity of the paper is defined by this line, then you should keep below this line. Otherwise, the paper will be too humid and not good to be sold. Then you need to put the reference of the regulation of the humidity at this level. But if the control is much better, and then you can reduce the oscillations of the humidity, that means that you can put up the humidity reference. And that means that there is a difference between the previous reference and the new one. And all this is humidity that you are not taking off of the paper, and then you are not using much power. And you can say also that you are selling water like paper, which in that case is improving the efficiency. Sustainability. Well, using less energy, using less raw materials, and producing less waste is a major driver for innovation in industrial systems. And this is a requirement for a more sustainable operation. What matters is not only that the system performs as designed under nominal conditions. It should perform well, that the global operation should be such that it has a minimal environmental footprint. So sustainability implies control, the use of the control. Let's go back now. We have seen some examples of logical control in the security and alarms, and we have seen some regulation properties. Let's see now the use of so-called servo systems. You remember that in a servo system, like the one in the picture here, you have some references, and in general you want that the controlled variables follow these references. And you remember the copying and reproducing the example that we have seen in the previous session with miniaturizing and or enlarging given activity of the human. Then let's now consider the case of a car, and we are using power amplifying. There are many automatic systems in the car. The servo driving, which is the power assisted steering. You are moving the steering wheel and with very little power, and then you are moving the wheels of the car in the way you want. This is a servo driving or servo steering system. The same for the brake. When you are trying to brake the car, you are not like in the old horse vehicles. You are not braking the wheel directly. You are sending a signal about how much brake you want to apply, and then the servo system will apply the power which is required. But you have also some other systems for security, the anti-lock braking system. Or you may have also cruise control, or improving the stability to avoid squid in the road when you are taking a car. Well, this is for cars, but also if we consider the use of robotics in assembly lines, well, in this case it's also for a car, but could be for any other equipment. Then you have the painting, the welding, the assembling, the checking. All this can be done very precisely by use of control systems, which are defining previously what is required to do by the tool, either for painting, for cutting, for welding, or for whatever, and then the system is reproducing it precisely and with much more power. So what control offers in servo systems? First, commodity, because you don't need to go locally and with much energy. Security, because you can be far away, not in the harsh environment. Accuracy, because there is a matter of the selection of the sensors and the actuators. You can have repeatability, because once you have defined what to do to paint or to cut, this can be done several thousands of times without error, and in general you can get savings. So what we have seen today? We have seen the need of the control for many applications, but we have seen also that we can get better regulation and better tracking. So we have seen some benefits of the control. In particular, we have seen that the control makes the operations easy. The control improves performance. The control improves sustainability and achieves savings, and provides a better quality of life. Well, at this point, it would be good to remind you that control can achieve all these benefits, but it's also something that we must take with a lot of care, because a control which is not well defined, not well designed, can just get the opposite results. So control is a challenging activity, trying to get all these benefits. So what is next in our course? Well, if you look at the modules, looking again with the control benefits, in the next session we will have a look at the future, in the sense that what control can provide us to achieve new goals, to achieve new applications. So then we will have a look at the future in the next session. And that's all for today. Thank you.